Okay, so today's video I think is gonna be, the subject is gonna be kind of short, I think, maybe not, I don't know, we'll find out. Also, in case you're wondering, that little warm-up that I do, while it is fun to have in the front, it actually does, I like doing that because it gets me really hyped to do like the whole video and stuff. Anyway, social media literacy. What is this and why does it even matter? So here's kind of the way I like to explain it and paint this picture. So you walk into a classroom, right? And then you get a book. A book is a way to distribute information and to communicate with other people, even though you're not necessarily there physically with that person, right? And we know that different types of books, different styles of writing have different conventions and have different purposes for being written and the way they're written. I see social media, AKA Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those, the big ones, as basically the same thing where we can approach, really what this is, these social platforms are just tools. They can be used in many different ways. They're basically a hammer, a screwdriver, a saw, like there's all these different things. They're not inherently good or bad, but you can use them for both good and bad purposes. But good and bad is very self-defined. There are obviously some things that are objectively good or bad, but like by and large, it's up to you to define how you should actually use these platforms to your advantage. All right, so specifics, let's kind of dive into this. Actually, I think a better way would be to use my experience as kind of a way to illustrate my thoughts on this. So a long time ago, I was on Instagram and I followed a bunch of like fun accounts and stuff and things that were not very serious and just purely entertainment focused. I got to this point where I was like, I'm not really digging this that much. I feel like you've probably been there as well, where it's like you're on social, but you're not really jiving and you're kind of feeling this general low-key malaise and you're not really vibing with what's going on. So I stopped it. I kind of went off of Instagram for a little while. This is like a long time ago. And I just kind of went off of it. And then when I went back on, I took out all of the stuff that was just not really serving me. And I kind of viewed it as, oh, you know what? There's that whole saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I was like, wait a minute, if I'm spending a lot of time reading and engaging with either people or just content on this Instagram place, and this applies also to Facebook and TikTok and elsewhere, but specifically for me with Instagram, I was like, what if I cultivate this as a tool, as a resource for me to keep my mind sharp, because you're the average of the, whatever, top 10 posts you see every day on your social feed or something like that, right? Like, does this actually make sense? And in my experience after testing this, I was like, wait a minute, this actually kind of works. So I started to kind of take this approach of, I can really, I have the power to turn this into something that I want it to be. And there's a lot of discussion about like, the algorithms and this and that. And like, yeah, like there's obviously tech things on the back end that these platforms do to keep you engaged. I mean, their whole business is to maintain the attention at any cost. And there's a lot behind keeping you on the platform. But what if we approach this with an understanding of what this tool is? Is the book used to tell a very clear path of nonfiction? Are we trying to explore something more literary and a different style of writing? Are we trying to write in haikus? Why are we using it? What's the point of this book that is being written? Because we are all effectively writing in this book of social media. We contribute to it every day. So there's obviously a lot of discussion of, social brings me down, or social is this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a lot there, but I think that we can take this approach of what's in my feed, what can I curate, what can I put more of that I know works well for me, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever, and what can I take out that's not necessarily serving me. And I think doing this really benefits you in a lot of ways. And then also the one main, like really big thing that I think about a lot is, what is your goal on social media? Because everyone has a different goal, and that's okay. Some people want to sell something. Some people want to connect with other humans. Some people want to have attention. Some people want to just learn. Like there's all these different ways, or some people even just want to lurk and just see what's going on and observe, but not necessarily engage. And like all these different things are, that's their prerogative, but it's kind of up to you to be like, okay, so all of these things exist. And the more aware I am of that, it's not that the way that person is using is good or bad, it's just, does it match what I'm after? And kind of the point of having these goals clearly defined and actually saying it to yourself and having it front of mind is like, are the people I'm following, are the things that I'm seeing actually helping me. Now, there's obviously an element that you can't control in terms of like what's put in front of you with ads and Explore. I mean, even actually the ads to some degree can be influenced, but point is there's a little bit that exists, or a decent amount that exists, that you cannot control, but the large majority of it you can. You can cut out accounts that you don't really dig. You can add in accounts that really keep you motivated in a good way, but not in a FOMO way, not in like a, oh man, I want to do this too because I want to be like, not in a FOMO way, but in a way that actually serves what your goal is. If you are about connecting with people, you can go find other people that also have the goal of connecting. If you're about selling, you can go find people who want to buy the thing that you have to buy. And that's a whole other discussion, but like, I think really taking the time to talk about this idea of social media literacy, really viewing this thing not as inherently this way or that way, but looking at what it is, which is, it is a tool, it is an empty shell that we populate and really curate to make what we want it to be. And I think the more you take ownership over that, the more you realize you have power to influence that, the better it gets. So why is this such an important thing? There's the general idea of like, feel better, be happy, but in the more specific jump rope context, using it effectively can boost your self-esteem and keep you engaged and active rather than viewing things that slowly over time are chipping away at your happiness or chipping away at your belief about whether or not you can do these activities you participate in, whether it's jump rope or something else. And so if we're really clear about our goal, if we're really clear about this, we can start to use this as a very, very powerful tool to stay in jump rope longer, to get more ideas, to share with each other, and to really explore the entire ecosystem of jump rope. But the catch is, if you're always working off of unspoken assumptions and you just are thinking that things are a certain way without fully verbalizing those ideas, it's hard to press forward, and you can get really caught in a trap like I did a while ago, a long time ago. You can get caught in that trap of like, oh, this doesn't really feel right. I'm not really using this effectively. I'm not having fun. I want to leave. And now there's this opportunity that's missed, both in terms of connecting with other humans, or if that's your goal, but also in just helping yourself with motivation, ideas, sharing knowledge, being engaged with other jumpers. Now, you don't have to jump in and be like commenting on everything and always like around, but like, even if you just got into jump rope, or if you're not really into the social media scene, but you still view videos that you like and get you excited, that can work. I know I said this was gonna be quick and it seems like I've rambled on for a very long time, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Anyway, that's really the idea. I don't think I have anything more to add, but I do suspect that I will add to this idea in the future. If there's anything else you want to add to this conversation, drop a comment. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Okay, all right, I'll see you guys later.